You ever sat in your favorite spot, maybe with your morning coffee or evening tea, and wondered quietly, when did things change? There was a time when your phone would buzz just to share a small story, a joke, guess what happened today? You were part of their everyday life. You mattered, not just in the big ways, but in the small, warm, ordinary ways that made a family feel close. And then, slowly, the closeness began to fade. Not suddenly, not all at once. It was gentle at first. A call missed here, a reply delayed there. You told yourself they were busy. Everyone gets busy. But then the calls grew fewer, the conversations shorter, the warmth softer, until one day you realized you weren't part of their daily life anymore. You were on the outside, looking in. This kind of disconnection is one of the hardest feelings to carry, because nothing big happened. No fight, no final conversation, no clear moment you can point to and say, that's when it changed. And that makes the pain more silent, more personal, more confusing. You start to question yourself. Did I fail them somehow? Was I not enough? Did I miss something important? But please hear this gently. Distance does not always grow because of something you did. Sometimes people pull away because they are overwhelmed, distracted, or lost in their own lives. Sometimes they don't know how to stay connected, even to the ones who love them the most. Before we go any further, tell me, what state are you watching from? We'll walk through this together, one honest step at a time.
Sign number 1. The emotional pulling away. There is a kind of distance that doesn't begin with a fight. It doesn't come with loud words or clear reasons. It happens quietly, almost silently, so softly that you don't even notice the exact moment it starts. One day your child is calling you to share their day, asking your opinion, sending you pictures, telling you small things that didn't matter to anyone else, but mattered to you. And then, slowly, the closeness begins to loosen. The calls still come, yes, but they are shorter now. You can hear the difference in their voice, not rude, not harsh, just distant. You ask how they are doing, and they say, "I'm fine," but you can tell they are not really here with you in the conversation. You try to share something about your day, maybe something small, something simple, and they respond with a quick, "Oh, okay," or "That's nice," and the conversation ends. It feels like they are talking, but not connecting, present, but not present, and you feel it in your heart before your mind even tries to understand it. This kind of emotional pulling away is painful because there is no clear explanation. You can't say, "This happened on that day," so your heart begins searching for answers. And like many loving parents, you look at yourself first. You wonder, was I too strict? Did I expect too much? Did I not show my love the right way? Did I fail somehow? But I want to tell you this gently, with honesty. Emotional distance does not always come from something you did. Many adults struggle with their emotions. They deal with stress, pressure, identity, relationships, expectations, and they don't always know how to handle these feelings. Instead of facing them, they pull away from the people who feel safest, and that often means the parent who has always been there. They aren't pulling away because you did something wrong. They may be overwhelmed. They may be confused. They may be carrying feelings they have never learned how to express. Distance is easier than honesty for many people. Your love is not erased by their silence. Your effort is not erased by their distance. Your value is not determined by how often they call. You were there, you loved, you cared. That matters. And it will always matter. Sign number 2, when they start rewriting the past. There comes a point when the distance isn't just silence anymore. It becomes something heavier, something confusing, something that feels like losing your child twice, once in the present and once in the memories you thought you both shared.
This is when they begin to rewrite the past. They may start saying things like, "You were too controlling," "You never understood me," or "It was always stressful around you." And you sit there thinking, where is this coming from? Because that's not the home you remember. You remember showing up. You remember trying. You remember doing the best you could with the life and the knowledge you had at the time. You remember staying up late when they were sick, working hard so they never went without, comforting them when life felt too big. You remember loving them, not perfectly, but honestly. But sometimes when an adult child has unresolved feelings, stress, guilt, or confusion inside them, it becomes easier for them to create a story where you are the reason for the distance. Not because it's true, but because it's easier than facing their own emotional world. If they tell themselves you were the problem, then they don't have to feel guilty for pulling away. If they convince others that you were difficult, they don't have to feel the pain of leaving someone who loved them. This rewriting of the past is not about memory. It is about avoidance. Your child may be trying to make sense of feelings they never learned to express. Instead of saying, "I feel overwhelmed," "I don't know how to handle this stage of life," or "I don't know how to stay close while managing everything else," they build a new version of the story where stepping back feels justified. And I want you to hear this very clearly, with compassion. This is not your fault. You are not losing your mind. Your memories are not wrong. Your love was real. When someone rewrites the past, it is a sign of their inner struggle, not your failure as a parent. You are still the person who held them when they cried. You are still the one who stood by them when they struggled. You are still the one who loved them, even on the hardest days. Sign number 3, the silence that feels intentional. There is a kind of silence that feels different from busy schedules or missed calls. It's not the kind of silence that comes because life gets hectic. It's a silence that settles in and stays. It has weight. It has coldness. It has meaning, even if no one says it out loud. You begin to notice it in the small things first. Holidays pass, and there's no call. Your birthday comes and goes, and you hear nothing. Someone in the family gets sick, and they don't check in. Even when they know you are going through something difficult, the phone still stays quiet. At first, you try to explain it to yourself kindly. They must be busy with work. They probably forgot this time. They'll reach out soon. But weeks turn into months, and eventually you can't avoid the truth anymore. They are choosing the silence. The hardest part isn't the lack of contact, it's what the silence makes you feel inside. It makes you question your place in their life. It makes you feel like you have to tiptoe in your own love. You want to call, but you worry it will bother them. You want to say, "I miss you," but you fear they'll pull away even more. You begin shrinking yourself to avoid losing more of them. And that is where the pain becomes heavy. Because love is not supposed to feel like walking on eggshells. Love never should feel like begging for scraps of attention. And I want to tell you something very gently. This silence is not a reflection of your worth. People who love you, truly love you, do not forget you on holidays. They do not ignore your pain. They do not allow distance to become a wall. When a child stops showing up emotionally and stops checking in completely, it is not a sign that you are unimportant. It is a sign that they are not capable of offering emotional presence right now, or they are choosing not to. Your love did not disappear just because theirs became quiet. Your value is not determined by how often your phone rings. You are still someone who loves deeply. You are still someone who has given years of your life to care for others. And silence cannot erase that. Sign number 4. when you are removed from their life. There is a point where the distance stops being emotional and becomes visible. This is the part that hurts the most, because it turns silence into something real, something you can see, something you cannot ignore anymore. It often starts quietly. They stop sharing photos with you. They stop including you in group chats or family plans. Then, one day, you notice you aren't in their social media anymore. Pictures that once showed happy memories are gone. Posts about holidays or special events don't include you. Your name isn't mentioned. Your presence is missing. And it feels like someone has taken an eraser and slowly rubbed you out of a story you helped build. This kind of erasure can feel like being pushed out of your own family. You were there in every chapter. The childhood years, the school days, the celebrations, the struggles. You showed up. You cared. You gave your love even when you were tired, even when life was heavy. And now it feels like all of that is being treated like it never happened. When a child removes you like this, it is not just absence, it is avoidance. It is them trying not to feel something. Maybe guilt, maybe shame, maybe confusion, maybe pressure. Erasing you is easier than facing what the relationship means. It allows them to feel in control of the distance, but it leaves you with a pain that has no words. And here is the part that makes this sign so heartbreaking. You did not get a chance to talk. You did not get a chance to explain. You did not get a chance to understand. They just stepped out. If you've reached this stage, you may still hold hope. You may think, if they just came back, I would forgive them in a heartbeat. And that shows something important about you. Your heart is still open. Your love has not disappeared. Your love did not walk away. But I want to say something gently, with care. You do not have to chase someone who has chosen to erase you. You don't have to keep knocking on a door that is closed from the inside. Your worth did not leave with them. Your love did not become smaller because they stopped holding it. You are still here. You are still capable of joy, connection, and peace, even without their presence. We'll talk about that next. The turning point, when hope becomes heavy. There comes a quiet moment when your heart begins to understand what your mind has been trying not to see. A moment when you sit with the silence, the unanswered messages, the distance, and you feel something shift inside you. Not anger, not blame, just a soft, tired awareness that you cannot keep waiting for someone who is not reaching back. This is one of the hardest emotional places for a parent to be because your love didn't fade. You still remember their childhood, their voice, their laughter, the way they once needed you. Those memories are alive, and that is why letting go feels so painful. You are not letting go of them. You are letting go of what you hoped would return. But I want to say something gently. Letting go does not mean you stop loving them. It means you stop hurting yourself while loving them. Hope is powerful. Hope has gotten you through many hard seasons, but sometimes hope becomes heavy. It keeps you waiting instead of living. It keeps you replaying the past instead of breathing in the present. It keeps you holding on to a door that may not open again. And you deserve more than that. You deserve mornings that don't hurt. You deserve conversations that make you feel seen and valued. You deserve days that are full, not empty. You deserve to feel like your life still has meaning, because it does.
The turning point is not about choosing to stop loving your child. It is about choosing to stop losing yourself. You are still here. You are still needed. You still have time to create joy, connection, and peace, even if it looks different now. Your story does not end with their distance. It continues with your strength. Healing and reclaiming your life. Now that you've seen the signs and felt the weight of the silence, the question becomes, what do you do with your heart now? Because the love you have doesn't disappear just because the relationship changed. Your love is still real. Your love is still strong. But love should not leave you empty. Love should not leave you waiting at the door. Love should not make you feel small. Healing begins with a gentle shift. You stop chasing. Not out of anger, not to prove a point, but because you finally understand that holding on is hurting you more than letting go ever will. You don't have to call repeatedly, hoping for a different tone. You don't have to keep explaining yourself or apologizing for things you don't even understand. You don't have to shrink your voice to keep the peace. Instead, you begin to turn toward your own life, the one that still exists even in their absence. Maybe that looks like reconnecting with old friends who miss you. Maybe it means saying yes to that hobby you always put aside. Maybe it's going for a walk simply because the air feels good on your skin. Maybe it's letting yourself laugh again without guilt. In the beginning, this may feel strange. You may catch yourself thinking, shouldn't I be hoping? Shouldn't I still be trying? But healing is not selfish. Healing is honoring the part of you that is still alive. Some parents ask, what if they come back someday? And the answer is, if they return with honesty, humility, and love, you can welcome them without fear. But you don't have to pause your entire life waiting for that moment. Your story is not over because someone stepped out of it. You are still here. Your heart is still working. Your life still has chapters left to live, and you deserve to live them fully, kindly, and without apology. If you have recognized yourself in these words, please know this. You are not weak, and you are not alone. The love you carry in your heart is real. The pain you feel is real. And the strength it takes to keep going through that pain is something most people will never truly understand. You spent years showing up for others. You gave what you had, even when life was heavy. You loved with the kind of love that didn't ask for anything back. That love still matters. It did not disappear just because someone else walked away. But now, you deserve to take care of you. You deserve peace. You deserve gentleness. You deserve to be surrounded by people who want to be there, not people you have to chase. If your child comes back one day with honesty, sincerity, and a willingness to rebuild, you will know. Your heart will tell you. But you do not have to keep your life on hold while waiting for that moment.